Hello, everybody, and welcome to my post-draft analysis, which is going to be a lot of I did a little bit good and a little bit not so good with my predictions. It's interesting. I think the results that came out, they make sense for the most part. It's just that I just didn't see certain things that they must have seen. And so first, right off the bat, I know that this is not a PWHL jersey. There's definitely no reason in particular that I'm wearing this jersey as opposed to one of the other jerseys I have or something else. Just something about this jersey. I wanted to wear this jersey to make this video. Just trying to send vibes into the universe. Let's hope that something comes out of this. But the first two picks from the PWHL 2024 draft were actually on my list of 6 that I put out. In fact, the second forward to get picked was also the second forward that I put on my list. It's just that my number 1 was actually my number 4, or my third forward that I put on my list. And so obviously Fillier got picked up first by New York. That doesn't surprise me a whole lot. I was looking, again, as I said in the previous video, there were lists that I was seeing that had Fillier at the very, very top. And so I'm just kind of like, okay, that makes enough sense to me. There must be something. It's something that was very predictable. It's kind of like Connor Bedard was. Everyone assumed that he was going to be the number 1 pick, and that's exactly what happened. He was the number 1 pick by Chicago, so it makes sense. Fillier, that's fine. The second pick I had as a defender. That's not how Ottawa went with it. They decided to pick up Sodachny, which was the second forward that I suggested was going to get picked up. Ottawa did get a defender in the second round of the draft. So, I'm not surprised that they wanted to get a forward in the first round, because really good forwards are a lot more valuable in the long run than picking up defenders. Ottawa also got a goaltender in the third round. That's Gwyneth Phillips. So, I was wondering how long into the draft it was going to be before a goaltender got picked up. I'm not shocked that the team that came in, I guess it would be 5th place, wanted to get a goaltender to kind of help their defense a lot more. So 2 out of their first 3 picks were, on the D side of plays instead of the front side. So I still think I was partially correct. After that, it gets a little fuzzy. The third one that got picked up was Thompson, which was a defender. Thompson, I actually didn't have her anywhere near the top, but my understanding, in retrospect, is she was in the PWHPA, which, that's kind of in the family of the PWHL. That's the players' union or something of the PWHL. So maybe that explains it. Maybe that explains why she just didn't have. She wasn't really on my radar for that kind of reason. It's at least the copium that I'm consuming right now to try to explain it to myself. But the third pick was Bilka, which as soon as I saw that name, I was like, she was 3 short of my list. She was 3 short. I had a list when I was making my picks of 8 names. If I'd gone to 11 names, she would have been on my finalist list. So again, I had her as the 11th most valuable forward or something based on my system. Which, to be fair, like I definitely could have like culled my list before I like was doing, but it doesn't matter. It's fine. Like Bilka has good numbers. I mean, there were a lot of forwards, so she had good numbers compared to the entire list. And so it doesn't surprise me. If I had kept going for like the other rounds, I definitely think that she would have ended up in my second round. I just, based on my system, she just wasn't in the first round, but that's fine. Barnes, which was too short of my defenders list of finalists, which actually was a very, very short list because I kind of figured that there weren't going to be a lot of defenders that got picked up. So she was my fourth most valuable defender to possibly pick up. I should have considered the fact that like she's a university, like a younger player rather than people that are kind of like seasoned. She had a points per game last year of 0.92, so that's almost a point a game. That's great. I mean, that's, for a defender, that's great. And finally, for the first round, Gosling, who actually did make my list of finalists. I think she was the very last one to make the cutoff for my list. She had a points per game last season of 1.38. She was a university student, and I totally understand. Again, she was on my list of like finalists, so I don't feel like I was too far off of having her be picked up. I would have put her in the second round, but she was the sixth pick. It makes sense. I totally understand. The last things that I will say are my number one pick, which was Danielle, ended up being pick 3.6, which is like the last pick of the third round. She was picked up by Toronto, so I must have screwed up somewhere along the line because I definitely didn't have her being picked that late. But at least my number one was on was ultimately picked up by a team, unlike my number two, which was a defender, Hines, who, as far as I can see, was not picked up by any teams, which is really surprising to me. I'm still trying to figure out. I mean, I guess the reason I picked her was because of her size more than anything, but maybe I was miscalculating the size thing. Maybe I'm not quite sure. I'm gonna have to look more into that because I kind of thought size was like a good thing, but maybe it wasn't as helpful as I thought it was. And Knutson, which was my fifth pick, I had her going to, I think that was Montreal. Was that? Yeah, Montreal. And again, she was also not picked up. So, two of the people in my list of six were picked up in the first round. Two of them were picked up in like the third round, and the last two were not picked up at all. The second part of this video is that, obviously, in case you were not aware, the GM for the PWHL Minnesota franchise was dismissed earlier this week, or it was about a week ago. I've been holding off to comment on it until we knew more. I still don't really know more, but I kind of feel like I have to comment on it, otherwise it's going to just be weird that I'm not saying anything. So obviously the PWHL Minnesota franchise just won the championship, just won the Walter Cup. It is by all means a successful franchise, and she was a part of that franchise in its success. I don't know why she was dismissed. It seems sudden. It seems like weird timing. There's also not a replacement yet. Their coach, Ken Klee, is like doing some of the responsibilities of being a GM. And so, like, obviously was a part of the draft. I don't know what this is. I don't, sorry. Was obviously part of the drafting process, for picking players. If I find out more, I'm going to make a dedicated video about this. I don't want to speculate any more than I already have. I don't think it has anything to do with her performance on the job as a GM. Most of the time when a team wins a championship, that's not when parts of the management get fired. But that's just my limited experience as a hockey fan. I don't know. I really can't wait to learn more. I don't know if we will ever learn more, to be honest. I mean, I want to know more, but I don't see if it's a personal thing, if it has something to do with her personal life. Like, there's no way that she's going to make a comment about it, and there's no way the team's going to make a comment about it. So we might just have to just live with the fact that we might not know. Obviously, if there's no GM by June 21st, Ken Klee's going to have to do the job of free agency contract negotiations and stuff as well. Like, that's way outside of the purview of a coach. Obviously, it's his team, and he should have some say in how and who comes and goes from the leave. From the team, but that's really what a GM is for, and so I hope they find somebody to replace her sooner rather than later. Obviously, don't rush it. Again, this is why I feel like I want to know more, because it seemed like this wasn't just like, oh, her time was up, right? Because you would have planned this better. There would have been a plan for how this would have all gone down. There would have been a replacement available. This maybe wouldn't have happened right before the drafts and right before free agency negotiations. Like, this, if this was planned at all, it would not have happened right now. It would have been happening like maybe a month from now. I don't know. I feel weird even just commenting on this without more information, but that's really all the information I have. That's really all the information I can possibly give. If you guys want to know more, you can subscribe, and when I get information, I'll let you guys know. Thank you for watching this video. Hopefully it was not a complete mess. I am still planning on doing a jersey video at some point. I just wanted to wait until the drafts were done, and then maybe this video is done. So, I also obviously am like going to follow up if there's any more news that comes out about the PWHL, especially Minnesota, because again, that's my team. And so I'm really just, if you want to come with me on this journey, you can subscribe or click the like button. That's going to help me stay in your feed, in your home feed. And yeah, let me know what you guys think about the drafts. Do you like the picks that your team made? Do you wish that they had made other picks? How are you feeling about the future of your franchises and stuff? Let me know whatever you want to tell me, really, in the comments down below. Thank you. My name is Zara Day, and I hope you have a good day. Bye.